Jordan, welcome. What's up, man? Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm glad to be here.
Very cool. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Please introduce yourself. Let people know how you got into real estate investing and sort of paint a picture of what you were doing before and then all the way up to, what made you decide to get into real estate investing.
Sure thing. Yeah, Jordan Johnson. I'm out of Houston, Texas, but I'm actually in the Dallas market, kind of just doing it virtually there with my team. Before all this, I was actually in the industrial construction down here in Houston, jumping around from plant to plant, constantly working myself out of a job because as soon as we, build the plant, we're done and out of there. So I was dealing with a lot of layoffs, and it wasn't very conducive to, growing a family. So my wife and I just kind of realized that something's got to change. Um, so way back then, I think it was 2017, started kind of getting interested in real estate, listening to all the podcasts, watching all the videos, doing, everything that everybody does, reading the books. And it really wasn't until, no, I'm sorry, that was 2015. 2017 is when I kind of really decided to start taking action. It was during one of the periods where I was laid off. I started, very timid and shy. I didn't want to make phone calls. I didn't want to go knock on doors. So I did the least thing I could, which was sending out mailers, and did a handful. I was doing everything on my own, and self-addressing the envelopes, everything, all that 9 yards, and got a handful of phone calls back. Nothing really panned out, and then kind of dropped off my radar. Kind of started doing other stuff. Skip ahead to 2022. I kind of realized that I kind of picked it up again. I was like, oh, hey, yeah, I forgot about this. I'm going to, see what this is about again, see what I can do. Kind of that's about the time that I got interested in Pace Morby and Jamil and all that kind of started coming about. And was like, oh, this is a really cool, strategy here. So started trying to do that. Actually had some software at the time. I had a batch leads. So I was, had more access to skip tracing and getting a hold of people, but still very timid, not wanting to, put myself fully out there. So I was text messaging, just text, again, all hand dialed. Got a hold of a few people. One person actually kind of panned out. He was going through a foreclosure, was working with a realtor. I partnered up with a Sqft member because honestly, the thing I was terrified of most was in texting and mailing was somebody getting back with me saying, "Yeah, sure, I'll sell you my house," and then what do I do? What do I do next? So teamed up with a Sqft member. He was great, and we got right to the finish line, and then they ghosted us. So that was just devastating. We, we're still tried a few times after that, nothing. So that kind of mentally set me back a little bit. I kind of dropped off again. Pick it up again, kind of beginning of 2023. Had a privy this time. So I was, trying to build my buyers list, trying to, slowly pick it up. And this time I was actually calling the people. So build my buyers list, come across, it was one of the first numbers I dialed actually. There was a lady, I talked with her, she had just recently sold a flip in the Dallas area. I picked Dallas just because that was close to home with still having MLS access on Privy, and because they didn't, Houston wasn't on there yet. So um, got a hold of them. I was talking to this lady, and she, in our conversation, she tells me, you know what, I really don't answer numbers that I don't know, and let alone sit and talk with them on the phone. But there's something about you. You have a really good phone presence. You're just very inviting and very opening. I just feel there's just something here. And she said, it's just also just kind of just random out of the blue, like, would you want to make calls for me? Like, do some cold calling for me? And me, of course, I tell her no, because, I don't want to share the deal with anybody. What are you talking about? Um, so, she said, okay, but well, that's fine. Well, yeah, if you come across any deals, I'd love to buy them from you. So just the week goes on, and it's something, I just feel like just God's in the back of my mind just saying, like, hey, remember that lady, she could help you out. That could be, really beneficial to you. It's, no, 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 I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. This keeps, the week keeps going on. And finally I'm like, you know what? I think I need to team up with somebody. So I call her back. We get to talking, and she's got another partner the three of us we're talking, and they're amazing. They have a lot of the same values and goals that I do. So everything just kind of aligned and meshed up there. So I was like, you know what? I'd love to make calls for y'all. Y'all have been doing this for 20 plus years, so you know the ins and outs, what to do. You have strengths where I'm weak, and I feel like I can help y'all out with making calls. And so we teamed up. Um, they got me on all their software, their dialer, and all that. So my first day on the dialer there, I, uh, I get everything set up. I hover my hand over the mouse to click the call button for what seems probably 5 minutes. Uh, just really hesitant to hit that go button, and finally hit go. I've never used a dialer before, so I'm don't know what to expect. I see all the numbers start dialing, and the first number to dial, there's an older gentleman. He picks up, and so me, I was calling a foreclosure list. I go through my, intros saying, hey, my name's Jordan. I see that you're on a foreclosure. Like you may be going through a foreclosure at the moment. I just want to see how I could help. And he says, oh yeah, well, I just had this young lady come to my door, and she said that she might be able to help me out, but I haven't heard back from her. I was like, so just get into the conversation with him. He's a very sweet old man. Have a great conversation. Turns out his wife had recently passed, so he was just kind of just up a creek and didn't really know which end was up. So in all that mess, he got behind on I guess payments and taxes, and was um, he had a reverse mortgage on the property, and so they were trying to take it back from him. So we got everything sorted out. He had recently had a fire in the property, a couple months, I think, beforehand. And so the insurance had come in and completely renovated the entire property. His words were, the only thing that weren't touched were the bricks. So it was just complete gut job. My partner came in and walked the property with them, and um, it was just I don't know, amazing how that all worked out. Um, that let alone my first call on my first day on the dialer, just turns out to be something. Um, my partner ends up getting under contract for 250, I believe. Um, and we go through all the title process. Pretty much everything. I know part of your questions are asking what kind of hiccups we had. Um,
Yeah.
Everything went like just really smoothly.
Perfect.
Like, I know. We had one tiny little hiccup where in that fire, the deed paperwork had gotten burnt up. So we had to track down the person that had originally drawn up the trust, and they just kind of got it all sorted out for us. Um, yeah, it was just it was like it was meant to be. I think it was God is definitely providing for us, and like just everything from joining up with my team to, I mean, having a great conversation on my first day, let alone it panning out to be a deal. Um, we were able to sell it to another local buyer um, at more than we had originally planned. So, and we were able to turn around and go back to the seller and be like, hey, you know what? We really want to help you out. Um, we want to give you an extra $20,000. So
Wow.
we, yeah, so we were able to do that, which I just feel again incredibly blessed that my teammates are looking out for others more so than uh, themselves even. I just want to help people because again, you know, same mindset as them, and that's what I want. That's why I love calling foreclosures, just
Just
to
to
help people out of bad situations and
and um,
just do everything I can to help. Um, he is also he's a veteran, so we were on top of all that. We were able to get him in. I don't know if it's an assisted living facility, but it's a he's got a beautiful apartment. They provide 3 meals a day for him. They have a movie theater in there. Actually, they have a driving service, so he's again able to sell his vehicle for more fun money for him. And we were able to get him hooked up with all that at no cost to him. We're just on government assistance since he was a veteran that had served and seen live action. So yeah,
amazing, man. That is truly amazing. And yeah, foreclosures, it's like you get wrapped up in people's stories and everything that they've gone through, and the fact that you're able to help him out and then plus give him an extra 20 G's on top of that is just so cool.
yeah,
And I just want to speak to the mindset that you had before where you didn't want to join a team because you think, well, I'm going to have to be splitting this assignment. I got to make this money for my family. So I don't know how this is all going to pan out. I'm going to get left maybe with less than I thought. Then you turn around, you join a team. All of a sudden, you guys made way more than you thought to the point where you could go back and help the seller. How instrumental was joining a team, and do you suggest that people do that when they're first starting out?
100% I do. Again, like I said before, they have strengths where I'm weak. Um, anybody getting into this isn't going to know, like, no matter how much you learn, how many podcasts you listen to, how many books you read, you're not going to know every little bit and what to do, especially if a little hiccup arrives with the title or whatever it be. But yeah, having a team to lean on is just it's been just a night and day difference for my business. Um, yeah, they you know like I said, there's two partners that I have. One kind of she does more of the logistics, paperwork kind of stuff. The other he does more of the closing contracts. He's a licensed realtor, so we have that in our back pocket as well. Um, but yeah, absolutely, I suggest getting in with a team if you're just starting out. It can mean getting deals or not. Um, I much rather have a third of a deal than nothing of no deals.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. On top of all that, especially if you're doing this virtually, it gets lonely just being in your office all day, making calls, having people hang up on you, saying no, calling you very friendly names. It can be tough. So having a team to just for your mental health, just talking it out and having them be there to tell you like, look, you know, you've been doing great. You've been, talking to a lot of people. Your next deal is around the corner. Telling it really does help hearing that. I mean, I know this little bit that I've been doing it recently. It's I've had a little bit of a rough spot where it's just kind of it's like, man, I've just been calling and calling and calling and nothing. But they're there just to look out for you, to offer some kind words and
That's
give you
great.
pointers if you need.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that they've been doing it for 20 years, I luckily found a local mentor as well. He's been flipping and out here for 40 years. So he's literally seen everything. And so when I'm like freaking out, like, what does this mean? What is that? He's like, yeah, that's nothing. Don't worry about it. And you're like, okay. There's just that, yeah. Because they've seen so many transactions, they pretty much got the right answer for everything at this point, unless something crazy happens. But I love that. I love that because I do see a lot of people. Maybe it's just insecurity, and I did that too. At the very beginning, you're watching the YouTubes, you're doing all the podcasts and stuff. So you're like, all right, let me try this out. It's kind of embarrassing just reaching out when you don't know too much, and so approaching somebody that has a lot of experience is also intimidating in itself. But you ultimately find out that people, ahead of you, usually, especially in real estate for some reason, want to turn around and help somebody else that's up and coming if you're passionate about it and you have a drive to do it, and they're more than happy to share with you. So that's excellent.
Absolutely. Yeah. I made a post on Facebook about this whole, my deal here. I had, man, probably 60 plus people reach out to me, just same kind of situation. Like, I'm just starting out. What words of advice can you offer me? And that's, absolutely 100% what I would suggest is helping on a team. I mean, it's just like making calls, like calling, trying to get a hold of somebody to be a mentor or be a part of a team is, I mean, the worst thing they can tell you is no. It's not like it's, the end of the world if they don't need you, don't want to help you. It's just the worst thing they can say is no.
Absolutely. So going back to that first deal, I know you kind of painted the picture as far as how long that took you, but from the moment you decided maybe in 2023 till you got your first deal, or I guess you could go back further, 2022, how long would you say that took? If you were going to tell someone how long it takes to get their first deal, how would you put that?
There's really no right answer. I feel like it's just 100% depends on how much effort and work you put into it. If you're doing what I was doing, the least amount that you can to actually be saying that you're working on your business, it's probably going to take a while. But once you just decide that, like I have this year, just decide like, pulling out all the stops. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I'm going to, put myself out there, call people, go door knock, whatever. I think it's just a numbers game at that point. I think on average, I think it's like 1 in 100. I think is kind of what you hear around. That for every 100 calls, you might get, one hot lead. So, and from there, it depends on just, how good you or your teammates are at closing and giving everything to the table at the end.
Absolutely, because like you found out on that other or the other deal, it's not until it's closed and funded and everything's through that you can actually count on that coming through.
Absolutely. Yeah, I made the mistake of telling my wife about that deal at the beginning, getting our hopes up, and then nothing. Just having the rug ripped out from us.
Yeah, that's a tough feeling, especially when they just ghost you too, and you're like, "What was it? Why? What happened?" So many,
Yeah.
but so many different reasons, I guess. When you're as you start talking to more sellers, it's like you just realize you're stepping into someone's life, and they got so much going on, and maybe just a bunch of stuff popped up, so now they're not, they don't want to talk to you anymore. So you just learn to stop taking it personally, I guess, after a little while.
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating because it's just like, just talk to me. Like, tell me what you're thinking. Whatever you're thinking is, worst case, not what's going on here. Just talk to me. Tell me what's on your mind. What's scaring you off.
For sure. So you found this deal. You already mentioned foreclosure list. Is this your favorite type of seller to work with at this point? Have you guys done absentee owners or anything else, or what is this your number one list?
That's what I prefer to call, again, just so that I can try to help as many people as possible. I feel like other lists, such as like distressed, I've called on distressed and probate. Probate, I feel it is kind of, it can help them out, um, especially just more of like in a mental way, just kind of take that burden off their plate. That way, they don't have to worry about it, and just work best in their time frame, everything that they need. But yeah, foreclosures is definitely my favorite list to call on.
Awesome. Yeah, we just started doing. I started pulling auction lists, so it's like 30 days about to go to auction, and the
Mhm.
last two we stopped the auction like the day before,
Oh
and
wow.
then yeah, was able to fund it and close and get them some money and stuff. But man, it's like you really get close with these people when you're going through that with them, and you almost become like part of their family or something. It's like I still talk to them even though we've already done the deal. They'll call me and like just give me updates on stuff. So
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah, so it just pulled more auction lists because yeah, that's people in a bind, and it's just if you've never gone through it, it's like they have you just don't know what to do, and you're getting blown up by so many people
Oh
that
yeah.
it's just like you don't know who to trust. But
Hmm.
you connect with somebody over the phone, and people open up, and when you're able to help them out, it's the best feeling ever.
Absolutely. Yeah, and yeah, just what you said about just them, their phones being blown up. Unfortunately, and there's a lot of malicious people out there trying to not help them, and uh, it's hard to put across to them like, I'm not one of these people. I'm looking to actually help you, and yeah, it's just heartbreaking. Just the kind of people that are out there trying to take advantage of these people that are already in a just awful situation.
For sure. And I think I mean, maybe a lot of new people, because I noticed on this last one we did, it was like the closest auction like we've gotten to. And then it ended up, we closed on it. And then people were still like texting them over the weekend, like, hey, I can help you, like, get out of your auction. I was like, there's no way that they would have been able to help this person
Yeah.
because I was working with the lender, and basically the lender was saying like, we're not going to postpone it. You have to close like at like 5 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, or else the auction is going on Monday. And so we were able to pull it all together. But maybe
Man.
it's just people that don't know what they're doing also. So
Yeah.
that's cool that you guys at least you got that team, you got that experienced people that know we got to put this all in place like right now. Let's make it happen.
Hmm. Yeah. 100%.
100%. Very cool. What would you say was the number one hardest thing about the whole process on this first deal in particular?
Really, just getting up the courage to make calls. Like, again, putting yourself out there. Like, me myself, I'm not very outgoing. Um, I can't. I lean more on the shy side. So, like, actually calling strangers and let alone talking to people, is extremely nerve wracking. But once you just once you actually hit the call button and go, it's just the further along you get into it, the that just kind of dissipates. It goes away. It's just you realize that hey, these people aren't, at my door. I'm not talking to them, nothing's going to happen. If they, like I said, worst thing they can say is no. And I mean, they might call you some not so nice names, but it's always funny to me, at least. Um, but yeah, really just getting up the courage to actually, put yourself out there.
Yeah, I like that. I remember when I was hand dialing the first couple calls, it's just so nerve wracking. It's
Mhm.
crazy. And then fast forward, once you've done it a little bit, then, you're going to get to the point where you could just walk up to somebody and be like, hey, have you thought about selling your house recently? you know, you just get,
Absolutely.
oh, that's great.
I'm thinking about going out door knocking, just like pulling a Houston list and going out door knocking, just because. Again, that's a little more out there, but I feel like the more you put yourself out there, the less that you're hiding behind, the more that people are willing to open up to you. Like, because like my since I've done email or letters, texting, and now calling, I feel like the closer you get to a more in person kind of communication, the more people are likely to open up to you and get a deal faster. Because
Absolutely.
texting, I think I had maybe two responses, letters maybe one, and then much more calling. I can only imagine actually showing up on somebody's door to buy their house.
Yeah, definitely. And even that you get over it. I've done that a couple times. First couple were like super scary. But people are so nice. Even when you're just rolling up to their house and there some people were like, yeah, I actually do need help because it was a foreclosure list. And then one guy I'm still talking to from there, he just calls me randomly like, hey, what should I do here? And I'll just, kind of give him whatever advice. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's and even the people that weren't interested were like, no, not right now. Like, thanks. So yeah, thanks for coming by. So they're like, oh, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing too I've learned from my partners is those people that say, no, I got it handled, follow up with them.
Absolutely.
Because yeah, you never know what it can, just be another friendly conversation like, oh no, hey, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Or it could be, yeah, I was supposed to get a mortgage modification and it fell through. And then you're there to help them out again.
100%. Or the old, I have an attorney helping me, and I'm like, oh,
Good luck with that.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, because I've talked to two people now that were like, yeah, the attorney did nothing, so now I got to get an attorney to sue the attorney. I was like, oh man,
Oh no.
that's not good.
No, not at all.
So, who would you say was your biggest supporter through all of this? As you're putting yourself out there, getting out of your comfort zone. Who are you relying on to be your champion?
Um, uh, it had to be my wife. She's my rock. She's the one that after a day of calling with even nothing, she's there just like pushing me on, saying it's okay, that happens. You've shown that it can work out. That it can happen. You just got to keep going, keep pushing through, and you'll get a deal. You'll get a deal tomorrow, and even if it's not tomorrow, it's going to be the next day. So yeah, she's always been there for me, even from sending out letters to now calling, and it's been her.
Love that. Yeah. And that's so helpful just when you're getting in your head and
Hmm.
you're seeing everybody else doing deals. What you think everybody else is doing deals. It's just a bunch of people doing a deal here and there. And you just like, everyone's getting deals except me and like triple digit flips and all this stuff.
Exactly. Yep.
But that's good. Yeah. At least, we have our wives in our life to push us on and keep us humble and strong. So love that. That's great. Okay, so during like this whole time, you keep trying, even back to 2015, 2017. What kept you motivated to kind of keep pushing on?
Really, just thought of financial freedom. Um, that's always, I mean, given where I was before, being in construction and in those periods where I was laid off for extended periods of time, where it's just kind of like, okay, well, kind of coming up on a place where, I'm going to have to go hit up McDonald's here. It's really tough, and it really makes you think. So it's getting out of that and um, to a place where, that's not even a thought, is always the goal. And now I have a son. I just want the best for him. I want to be able to, provide and support my wife that, has always been there for me. Um, and just getting us to a place where, there's no thoughts about anything. And everything, is just kind of, you've built so much of a business that everything's kind of working and falling into place on its own is definitely what keeps me going. It was always been kind of the end goal, and, pushes me forward.
Let's go. Love that. Amen to that, dude. That's it. Okay. So people just starting out, what advice can we give to them? Can you give to someone that, hasn't taken any action yet? They're in the groups, they're on the forums, they're listening to the podcast, they're doing everything, but for some reason, something is holding them back. What would you say to them?
All day it's going to be just get out there, start making calls, whether it be building a buyer's list, whether it be like calling people, in the forums or forums. How old am I? On the Facebook groups, just seeing if there's anything you can do to help anybody. You've got to have some sort of skill set that can benefit them, whether it be cold calling, whether it be handwriting yellow letters. Just get out there, and you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it, is what I've been telling everybody. I'm nobody special. I'm not some suave businessman. I'm just a regular guy that just put myself out there and started making calls. You can only learn so much from the podcasts and YouTube and all that, and once you get out there, man, everything that you learn is going to just 10x. It's going to be crazy when you look back, a month, 2 months, a year from now, and just realize like, wow, I've come a long way just because I actually took steps and started doing it. So yeah, just do it would be my advice. Let's get out there and do it.
There you go. Yeah. At some point you got to stop consuming and start taking action, and then also just document your whole journey and start uploading that, because it starts, people start seeing you taking action, and then they start reaching out and saying like, hey, I gotta, maybe we could team up here or there. And it's crazy how much in real estate you end up partnering with random people, teaming up with people, and it's great. So why don't you take us into the future here? What are your plans for investing this year, and then kind of going out, towards the next 5 years? What are the big goals?
Okay. Right now, still cold calling. I'm trying to build a calling team underneath me. That way I can kind of help coach people, get people started. Me and my team were very conscious of like, we want to hire people that want to expand, like help us in our business, but also expand their own. And we want to help people like learn and excel and just, get out there. So we're looking to start a team under me just for cold calling. Besides that, I, just want to keep getting deals. I want to eventually build a portfolio of my own, of buy and holds. 5 years from now, I would love to have at least 10 properties, just to hold, that trying to get that passive income. And I'd love to do a few flips. I know my wife's voiced that she really wants to help me with some flips, even though I'm a little nervous that she'll price us out of the neighborhood with her picks of the accessories, but I think that'd be great fun.
That is cool. Yeah, that's what kind of got my wife on board with everything. We started doing a flip, and then she obviously has the like the design eye. And so she really got into that. And then I like going out and hunting for the deal. So it ended up working out really well. Teaming up is just so much fun. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
So how can people partner with you? How can they reach out to join the cold calling team, and learn from you?
Yeah. Really, I'm kind of a caveman when it comes to socials. I really just have Facebook. You can hit me up on Facebook. Just reach out, say, what you have and what you need, whatever I can help you with. I would love to do, whether it be, a deal you got going on. If you need somebody, we got, tons of buyers. If you got a deal looking to sell it, if you need just some motivation, if you just want to talk, just reach out to me. Like, I'm looking to help anybody and everybody I can.
Love that. All right, y'all. So as we near the end, I'm going to need all of you guys to subscribe to the podcast for weekly, monthly motivation. Send this to somebody brand new. Don't let them quit. It can get kind of, it can get tough, especially in the beginning. And sometimes hearing from people who have done it can, keep you going, because most likely, your first deal is right around the corner. So right after this episode, I want you guys to go and reach out to Jordan and, just show him some love and, bring him some deals. And then if you want to learn how to cold call, how to work foreclosures, this is the man to get in touch with. So I guess take us home, Jordan. Give us one piece of advice you would have given yourself before you got that first deal under your belt.
Really, it's just don't be afraid to do it. Just put yourself out there. And like I've been saying, don't hide behind things like text messaging and sending letters. Just really just put yourself out there. Because there's nothing that bad that's going to happen. And then, try to get on a great team with the same kind of mindset and like goals that you have, would be what I would suggest to myself. That would have made, got me started a lot earlier.
Heck yeah. Perfect. Thanks for bringing it home for us. All right, you guys, we will see you on the next one. Jordan, appreciate it so much, man. I know you got a family and it's summertime, so I appreciate your time so much for joining me, and we'll talk soon and we'll do some deals.
Absolutely. That sounds great. I'm gonna go hit up the slip and slide now.
Talk soon.
All right, bye.